Okay, so we're just talking about joy and the beginning of the Feast of Sukkot, the festival of Booths, the festival of Yahuwah of Booths. And Bonnie has shared some music,
Yeah, what
and
was this one?
she's now going to read Zechariah 10.
What is that?
Yeah,
Hag Festival. Ha
the
Hasov?
festival of ingathering is,
Yeah, is the,
you
the,
can
the
see
name of it.
Joseph's name there, right?
Yeah,
Joseph's
yeah, I thought
name.
it was Joseph, yeah.
I will gather. That's the gist of it.
Yeah, anyway, we were just having a watch of that and it clued back to Zechariah 10 here, verses 8 and 9. And I just thought this the whole idea of I shall whistle for them. I'm like, wow, and gather them. So we'll have a read. You want me to read it? Anyone
Yeah,
else
you can
wants?
read it. You can read it, Bonnie.
Okay, cool. I'll just turn camera off so we've got full screen. Okay. Ask Yahweh for rain in the time of the latter rain. Yahweh who makes storm clouds, and he gives them showers of rain, the plants in the field to everyone. For the household idols spoke emptiness. The diviners saw falsehood and relate dreams of deceit. They comfort in vain. Therefore, they have wandered about like sheep. They are afflicted, for there is no shepherd. My wrath burns against the shepherds, and I lay a charge against the leaders. For Yahweh Sabaoth shall visit his flock, the house of Yehudah, and make them like his splendid horse in battle. From him comes the cornerstone, from him the tent peg, from him the battle bow, from him every ruler together. And they shall be like mighty men who trample down the mud of the streets in the battle, and they shall fight because Yahweh is with them, and the riders on horses shall be put to shame. And I shall make the house of Yehudah mighty, and save the house of Joseph, and I shall bring them back, because I have compassion on them. And they shall be as though I had not pushed them aside, for I am Yahweh their Elohim, and I answer them. And Ephraim shall be as a mighty man, and their heart shall rejoice as if with wine, and their children shall see and rejoice, their heart exulting in Yahweh. I shall whistle for them and gather them, for I shall ransom them, and they shall increase as they once increased. Though I sow them among peoples, they shall remember me in places far away, and they shall live together with their children, and they shall return. And I shall bring them back from the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt, and gather them from Ashur, and bring them into the land of Gilead and Lebanon, until no more room is found for them. And he shall pass through the sea of distress and strike the waves of the sea, and all the depths of the river shall dry up. And the pride of Ashur shall be brought down, and the scepter of Mitzrayim be taken away. And I shall make them mighty in Yahweh, so that they walk up and down in his name, declares Yahweh. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah,
Mm.
I love that last verse.
Yeah, absolutely. Make them mighty. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that verse.
Mm. But you wanted to check out the word whistle up here.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to look at whistle because I have a feeling I know what gather is, so I wanted to see what whistle was.
Okay, so we'll go to the interlinear
I think we've looked
verse.
whistle up before. I think we've looked this
8.
verse up before.
Probably, yeah. Interlinear verse 8. Okay, here you go. This
It's got a
graph.
sheen resh kuf in it. So that's the whistle part.
Yeah.
Wow.
Korah is the call, isn't it? Kufresh. Hey, I think. Hmm.
Actually, I wasn't expecting the kabatz word there for gather. It's like kibbutz. It's
Ah,
kibbutz with a kuf.
roots.
I imagined it
Don't
is. There's a
know.
gathering in a kibbutz.
Yeah. We can have a look. I know we've done it before, but and look, we've got Rabu there, and we know that pink rabbit increased, pink rabbit, respite, and here too, Rabu.
Wow, Shin Resh Kuf has a lot of meanings. There it is. To hiss or to whistle.
What
But
are you looking at?
also,
What?
I'm looking, I was just looking at the Kleins on, yeah,
Okay,
you can click on it.
because I'm just going to open it. Yeah, in a new tab. Rid of that one. I need that one.
That was the last meaning that came up.
Sharak.
To hiss
To
or to
whistle
whistle.
or hiss. Oh, okay. Because there was a scripture in Isaiah that said the word would hiss forth. And I'm like, what? No, I don't want the term hiss. Doesn't sound like a tone connotation for something useful.
Yeah,
But
it
there it
says
is.
as a call or in scorn. So you got your two sides of your coin, and maybe.
Mm. Properly to be shrill, call in or in scorn. Yeah. So what's the first occurrence? First Kings 9:8. By it shall be astonished and shall hiss, and they shall say, yeah, call in scorn.
Yeah, it looks like it depends on the context which word it would be translated to.
Yeah. And I will hiss unto them from the ends of the earth. Yeah. But the whistle.
Like in other words, to get their attention,
Yeah, I
get
suppose.
their attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it say all the way down a little further? There we go. The
Yep.
lexicon one.
Yeah. This one.
Yeah. Evokes the sharp, piercing sound of whistling or hissing. In pastoral life, it pictured a shepherd's whistle summoning distant sheep. In public setting, how about that? Like I never thought of that.
Mm.
In public settings, it
Oh.
described a hiss of derision. The scripture applies the verb both positively, Elohim whistling to gather, and negatively, nations hissing in scorn. The vivid
Mm.
I don't even know how to say that word,
Onomatopoeia.
onomatopoeia communicates immediate attention either for rescue or for ridicule.
Wow.
Immediate attention for rescue or for ridicule. Yeah, so there's the nations below there. Everyone who passes by it will be appalled and will hiss, saying, why has Yahuwah done such a thing to this land and to this house? When Israel or surrounding peoples despised covenant trustworthiness, Elohim warned that their ruined sites would provoke a contemptuous hiss from onlookers. When they despised his covenant trustworthiness. The verb magnifies the shame of covenant breach. Judgment would not remain a private grief, but a public spectacle, showcasing the justice of Elohim before the nations. Well, hallelujah to that.
Mm. Public spectacle. Oh.
Their grief will be a public spectacle.
Mm.
And then Isaiah, he lifts a banner for distant nations and whistles for those at the ends of the earth. So that's like that idea of the sheep, the farthest sheep away, whistles for
Mm.
those guys, and they hear the whistle. Here, Sharak, which is it's not the last letter, but it's the next three in consecutive order backwards, is your
Mm.
whistle. Here, Sharak portrays Yahuwah summoning instruments of judgment as effortlessly as a shepherd signals sheep. The whistle crosses borders. Yahuwah Zavaot commands global reach. Isaiah
Wow.
7:18 intensifies the image by doubling it. Elohim will whistle for the fly that is at the farthest streams of the Nile and for the bee in the land of Assyria. Wow. Swarming insects symbolize Egyptians and Assyrians, marshaled by the divine whistle to discipline Judah.
Mm. Yeah, but you know the sheep, the faraway sheep that hears the 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 call or the summons from the shepherd can still choose not to come.
Mm-hmm.
That strikes me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the divine summons of foreign armies. But the next one's on restoration and gathering.
Oh,
Oh, whistle for them to gather, for I've redeemed them. They will be as numerous as they once were. The same sound that once summoned adversaries now gathers Elohim's scattered people.
yeah.
So it summons adversaries and it gathers his scattered people.
So this is the scripture where we were at in
Yeah.
Bible Hub. Yeah. Gail, you've posted something in comments. Just the NIV translation. I will signal for them, it says. The RSV says, I will signal for them and gather them in. For I have redeemed them, and they shall be as many as of old. And then the NIV says, I will signal for them and gather them in. Surely I will redeem them. They will be as numerous as before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whistle also can translate to signal. Ah, yeah. Covenantal implications. That's got to be interesting. The verb punctuates the book of Deuteronomy, covenant theology. Blessing, Barakot flows from. Oh, look, I'm switching this out after our session last week. I'm switching out this word for empowerment.
Oh, yeah. And even reservoir. I love that, where we were
Yeah.
shown that it's like a pool or reservoir.
Yeah. So empowerment flows from over. It just means so. It speaks to my understanding so much more. We've been given
Yeah.
this word that is just thrown around all over the place, but it doesn't really mean anything. It's
Right.
just, yeah, and to find out that it actually is akin to bleeding someone out, like leaching a
Yeah.
disease out of somebody, and anyway.
Yeah,
So
especially
empowerment.
where Kleins tells us that it originally meant to strengthen. So that empowerment or endowment word really works well there
Mm.
for our understanding.
So empowerment flows from obedience. Yeah, so here we go. Disobedience invites curses so conspicuous that foreign onlookers hiss in astonishment. Yeah, Deuteronomy 28, a favorite thing to read during the Sukkot. It's yeah, massive. The historical books and prophets show Israel living out that chart. Well, esteem under David and Solomon, then exile and ruin, provoking international derision exactly as warned. Shrek functions as an audit trail of covenant faithfulness and failure. That's interesting. An audit, somebody that's been in the financial sort of profession, it's like there's an audit trail. Pastoral and ministry significance, shepherding metaphor. Yeah. Ministers may view Zechariah 10:8 as an encouragement that Elohim himself calls and gathers his redeemed. Evangelistic appeal rests not on human persuasion alone, but on the piercing summoning initiative of Yahweh. Warning against complacency, the hissing of nations around ruins, cautions assemblies and believers against presuming upon past esteem. Public disgrace can follow private decline. Trustworthy obedience guards corporate testimony. And then assurance amidst opposition, when scorn falls upon the people of Elohim, see Lamentations 2:16. Scripture reminds us that derision fulfills predicted consequences and is neither random nor final. Yeshua HaMashiach bore the ultimate hiss of mockery, transforming it into redemption. Yeah, that's when I heard whistle to call and then to deride, I immediately thought of the crucifixion or the execution stake.
I asked Chad, what is an audit trail? You still got it there on your screen there.
Oh,
Sharok
yeah.
functions as an audit trail. Covenant
Yeah.
trustworthiness and failure. Chat said an audit trail is a record showing who did what and when. Spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
it refers to a record of behavior, obedience, and covenant fidelity. Every choice, every obedience or failure is logged in the spiritual quote books. The universe, or more accurately, Yahuwah, remembers trustworthiness and failure in covenant relationships.
Yeah. So if you're not up to date with, asking for forgiveness for even things you don't even realize you did wrong, um, that'll all be on the books at the end.
So, how does the Shirach, the whistle, function as an audit trail?
Okay.
That's the Shirach registers it, almost like a divine receipt of trustworthiness. Failure when someone breaks trust or fails in the covenant, it's also recorded as a signal or whistle alerting that a promise has been broken. Okay, that's how they're using whistle.
Mm.
Well, I don't know that that's scriptural, but that's what it's. I mean, that's what the cub. It's right there in the Bible Hub. It's saying that it is an audit trail. I don't know if that is
Mm. It,
scriptural use
it's
of the
a,
whistle or not.
it's a term used for accountability,
Yeah,
finance generally. Yeah. Do
yeah,
we want to have a look at the rest of this? It's on a couple more things.
yeah.
Do you want to read this?
When Shirach itself does not reappear in the Greek text, its themes resonate. Yahushua speaks of gathering his elect from the four winds, echoing Zechariah's whistle. Paul depicts believers as a spectacle to the world, paralleling the public gaze of hissing nations. Hebrews 12:5-11 frames divine discipline in a redeeming purpose, mirroring the transition from judgmental hissing to restorative whistling.
Nice.
Yeah. And then
That,
conclusion.
that's an interesting or
Yeah, transition.
dichotomy, isn't it? Yeah.
Divine
Okay. Good.
discipline and a redeeming purpose. Yeah.
Mm.
Conclusion, Shirach condenses a spectrum of covenant experience. Elohim's whistle can call hostile armies or welcome home repentant exiles. Yep, that's what it said in those verses that we were looking at.
Yeah.
The hiss of spectators exposes covenant infidelity, yet vindicates divine justice. For contemporary belief and ministry, the word challenges sober reverence towards Elohim's kadoshness, confident expectation in his redeeming initiative, and vigilant stewardship of public witness.
Nice. And that
Concerned
was
about
sure. That
vigilant
was
stewardship of public witness.
yeah. So H8319 Sharak Sheen Resh Kuf Sharak.
Well, we might as well look at kabats then, because that's that's
Yeah.
got two of the next letters, the kuf and the zod. I mean, well, it includes the kuf and the zodi.
Mm.
Sabat, kabats. I remember this word a little bit. It's been a while.
Mm. Mm. Gather, collect, assemble. Yeah. Genesis 41.
To
Okay.
grasp, primitive root, to grasp. It's going to grasp you. It's kind of like the snatching word, right?
Hmm. Heap. It definitely sounds like a Shabbat, a Sukkot, sorry, a Sukkot ingathering, festival of ingathering word, doesn't it? So the kibbutz was an idea of Sukkot.
Yeah.
Am I correct there?
Yep. Kleins tells us that it is a company or community or gathering, a collective settlement in Israel. is the New Hebrew. It don't the word kibbutz in that spelling, kufet wazadi, it only occurs one time in Isaiah 57:13, according to Klein's. It says, which probably means your assemblage of idols.
Oh.
So of idols is in parentheses. So some sort of assembly.
Mm.
It also
Like a
says
collection. Yeah.
kibbutz, a gathering of the lips, which is a kibbutz, uh, shafatim, a gathering of the lips. And it says kibbutz is so called because in order to pronounce the sound represented by kibbutz, the IEU, the lips must be brought near to each other. That's interesting.
Mm. He was gathering his dispersed peoples.
Also gives the idea of common. They're collecting because they have something in common, their community.
Mm.
Let's see what that lexicon says. At
Mm.
every appearance, Kabat signals a movement from dispersion to ordered unity. Whether the object is grain, troops, exiles, or the nations, the verb frames the action as purposeful and often under divine direction. Roughly one-third of the occurrences fall in the historical books, another third in the prophets, and the remainder in poetry and the Torah, giving the verb a panoramic role in Scripture's narrative and prophetic arcs.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, you know, this mixed multitude came out of Egypt. I mean, we were in Sukkot because we're remembering that, you know, they slept in tents for 40 years, Darla.
Yeah, I think Sukkot was the first place they ended up too.
Yeah, yeah. You know, just when Moshe came down the mountain with the plans for the tabernacle, you know, they were all keen and got together and put it all together and then ordered themselves to the point where they were very militant then. You know, it was like ranks and um, you know, specific jobs for specific tribes and um, yeah, it just reminds me of that picture. Troops, a movement from dispersion to order unity. That's what happened in the desert.
Yeah.
If we find ourselves in the time of desert, it's because we need to get ourselves in order.
Kind of reminds me a little bit, just in terms of current events where we had the heads of the military were all brought together and they were told that
Hmm.
their strength was not in their diversity, it was in their unity. Sort of a modern day example of this kibbutz idea. In fact, here it says covenant assemblies in Israel's history. Judges 20:11 records how all the men of Israel gathered together against the city, united as one man, illustrating kibbutz as the cohesive force of covenant solidarity.
Wow. Oh, yeah, just there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
then,
you can imagine an army that has many leaders doing whatever that particular leader wants isn't cohesive.
yeah, not cohesive at all.
Yeah. Whereas if they're united as one man or yeah.
And the next section, it says in 1 Samuel 22:2, those in distress, indebted, or discontented gathered around David. An early pattern of Elohim forming a people around his anointed. So he brought together those that were discontent. In pain.
Well, generally, yeah, they're in pain and they want some sort of recompense or justice. It reminds me of the worldwide rallies that we're seeing over the last 3 years. Is it 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah,
Getting bigger and
exactly.
bigger. Yeah.
Right. And then the next one says, shows Benjamin rallying around Abner, a reminder that human leadership can marshal a kibbutz for either righteousness or rivalry. So we've
Mm,
seen gatherings, we've certainly seen them all across the face of this earth,
yeah.
for people standing for righteousness and also people standing for rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the next one is transfer of kingship and foreshadowing the Messiah who will gather all tribes permanently.
Mm. Looking at no, not what I'm looking for. Um, the ISR version. There was the picture of Messiah in there. Just gonna have to duplicate it, I think. Go to the ISR. We love the ISR. It's the closest thing we have at the moment to something in a restored language. And the tent peg. Um,
Yeah.
peg.
Yeah, what's the tag?
From him comes the cornerstone. Well, we know who this cornerstone is. From him, the tent peg. From him, the battle bow. From him, every ruler together. This is a massive picture of Messiah. In my honest opinion, humble opinion. What do you on MHO? Yeah. But do we want to look at
Yeah, I'd like to see
tent
what the
pegs?
tent peg is, and then the
Yeah,
verse
because
right
we know
before that is so great also.
the tent peg is the wah. We know that. Interlinear, so verse 4. Oh, the tent peg, yated.
Ted, the Tade.
Exodus 27, that would have been creation of the tabernacle. Nail, paddle, pin, stake. From an unused root meaning to pin through or fast. Yeah, so to fasten something. A peg, nail, paddle, pin, stake. I had some dried flowers yesterday. I'm like, I've got to put them on my pergola outside my sukkah. How can I do it? And I need to do it quickly. I got all the clothes pegs off my washing line. It looks okay. I pegged them. I pegged them
Yeah.
on. Oh dear. Yeah, so to fasten. There you go. The pegs of the tabernacle, pins of the court, pegs.
For fastening, hanging, or anchoring.
Mm. And we know that's the picture of the wah, which is this, the Hebrew letter wah or vav, is the tent peg. Yeah. Tent pegs were indispensable. They penetrated the soil and desert or pasture land, holding family dwellings, military shelters, and the sanctuary itself. Can you imagine trying to fasten a tent peg into sand, shifting sand? I don't think it'd be easy.
I don't either.
There you go. Look, that larger bronze peg secured the holy courts. the Kadesh courts.
Yeah, because there's probably something under the sand. Eventually, there's some sort of harder ground, maybe.
Hmm. Yeah, so 13 of the 24 occurrences cluster around the wilderness sanctuary. Bronze pegs tethered both the tabernacle and its surrounding courtyard, ensuring stability and shifting sands. Thank you. The repeated inventory stresses that nothing in Yahuwah's dwelling was left to human improvisation. Just as every board, socket, and cord was fixed by a peg, so worship, doctrine, and community life are to be anchored by divine specification, not cultural whim.
Right?
Interesting. This idea of in our belief, practice, and life. Yeah. I saw a quote yesterday, I think it was from Charles Spurgeon, about when if your faith is so weak that nobody can tell the difference between you and the world, is it really faith at all? You know, it's that sort of an idea to it. So it was yeah, the idea of, you water things down with cultural whim, and I don't think we've ever seen a time in history where it's been worse.
Oh, yeah. Just carried by the wind.
Yeah.
Wherever the wind blows.
Mm.
The peg's portability also foreshadows the pilgrim character of Elohim's people, journeying yet always securely ordered by his word.
Yeah.
When he said they moved and when he said they stayed.
Mm. Follow the cloud.
Follow the cloud. That's right.
So here we go. We're on military again.
Yeah. Deuteronomy 23:13 requires every soldier to carry a peg spade to keep the camp ritually pure.
Yeah,
Sanctity reaches even the latrine.
absolutely. It's
Yeah.
all part of it. It's all part of the circle of recycling, I'll say. Make sure you cover your doo-doo.
Yeah. Then there's the woman. Yael took a tent peg, seized a hammer, and she drove the peg through his
Oh,
temple.
yeah, yeah,
Ordinary household implement becomes a weapon of decisive victory.
yeah.
That's why people say it doesn't take a gun to, it's not the gun that kills people. They can pick up a rock or there's all kinds of
There you
devices you
go.
can use
A
to kill
tent peg.
somebody. Yeah,
Pick up a
tent
tent
peg,
peg.
something unexpected.
Mm.
Oh, look, Delilah weaves Samson's locks
Mm.
into a loom and fastens them with a peg, revealing that pegs held looms as surely as they held tents. Wow.
Ooh, look, an instrument in deliverance and judgment.
Yeah.
The technically twice an agent of divine triumph through Jael, it crushes Sisera, delivering Israel from Canaanite oppression. Through Delilah, it exposes Samson's vulnerability, heralding judgment on a judge who had grown lax. In both narratives, the peg unmasks the unseen sovereignty of Yahweh. He can save or chasten by the simplest object.
Wow.
Yeah. A symbol of security and permanence. You've got Ezra 9:8. Rejoices that Elohim has granted a peg in his holy place. Yeah. A metaphor for a secure foothold for the returned remnant. That's
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know we bang on here a little bit about the lost 10 tribes. Thinking about sitting down and watching that video from Joseph Dumond again about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
As enlarges the imagery, look upon Zion, a tent that will not be moved, its stakes will never be pulled up. Hey, Isaiah 33:20. So certain is Jerusalem's ultimate peace that its tent pegs are declared immovable. The call to drive your stakes deep. There you go. So that's how. From Isaiah 54:2 summons the restored city to expansive belief, confident that Elohim secures no enemy. What Elohim secures, no enemy can uproot. I like it.
Yeah. What Elohim secures, no enemy can uproot.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Cool. Messianic and eschatological resonances. Ooh. We've got Zechariah 10 here too, again, which is nice. Isaiah 22 sets the peg within royal prophecy. Of Eliakim, the Elohim says, I will drive him like a peg into a firm place. And that's verse 23. Prefigured a dependable ruler who bears all the esteem of his father's house, yet the passage ends, the peg driven into a firm place will give way.
Wow.
22:25, pushing the reader beyond any merely human fulfillment. And Zechariah 10 verse 4 resolves the tension. From Judah will come the cornerstone, the tent peg, the battle bow. The Mashiach springing from Judah unites the imagery. Cornerstone for the house, tent peg for the camp, battle bow for victory. In the New Testament age, or the Besorah, Yahushua HaMashiach embodies the unshakable peg. In him, every promise is fastened and every burden may hang. Wow.
Wow, that's beautiful for our Sukkot time.
Yeah, what's that scripture in John? In him, all things consist, all things, gel together. Reminds me of that.
Yeah.
In him, every promise is fastened and every burden may hang. He's holding it all together, people. Okay, so we've got some ministry applications. Do you want to do some reading, Della?
Sure. Stability and truth, like bronze pegs in kadosh ground, scriptural doctrine must be driven deep, resisting the winds of relativism. Don't we know that? Readiness and mobility. The pegs allowed swift striking or breaking of camp. Assemblies today must be equally anchored in Mashiach, yet ready to move at his command. Ordinary instruments made mighty. Yael's tent peg teaches that Elohim often works through commonplace skills and tools when placed at his disposal in the hand of somebody that is a righteous believer. Secure expectation. Believers possess a sure and steadfast anchor of the soul, echoing the prophetic peg imagery. Assurance flows from Mashiach's finished work, not personal merit. An expansive vision, Isaiah 54:2 invites ministries to lengthen cords and drive stakes deeper. Growth coupled with depth, so that numerical enlargement never outruns spiritual foundation. The Sheathade traces a line from wilderness worship to eschatological esteem, illustrating how the Elohim who secures tents in the desert also secures the salvation of his people in Mashiach, the final and unfailing peg driven into a firm place.
Wow.
Really great. Who knew how deep that was going to go?
All we wanted to do was look at the tent peg.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
There's the verse that says, "Don't despise the small things." I mean, just look at something
The small
small and go,
things
"Wow, this could be a weapon
of,
in Yahuwah's hand."
out of little things, big things come. Yeah. So what else did we find in this that we thought? So we've looked at whistle, we've looked at tent peg.
Well, in verse 3, you've got my wrath burns against the shepherds, and I lay a charge against the leaders. For Yahuwah
Yeah.
Sabaoth shall visit his flock the house of Yehuda and make them like his splendid horse in battle.
Yeah. You want to talk about this word?
Yeah, well, this is the name of Yehuda with a dalet in the middle. So
Mm.
it's like, and it
I,
means
I saw
praise.
I saw Yehudi the other day. That's just plural, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you click on that word, Bonnie, I think Yehuda means praise. So
Okay.
you could say the house of praise, but they are talking about the house of Yehuda. There we go. Yehuda. The house of
Mm.
Yehuda is the name of the southern two tribes. It's called the house of Yehuda.
Yeah.
And if we click on the word, Bonnie, does it mean praise? Celebrated.
No, it is. We know it is this generally, but
They've got Yada
oh,
there.
it's from
Give
your dad.
thanks.
Yeah.
She named him Judah. That's the place where she says what uh let me see if I can go look that up real quick and read it. Genesis 29 is where she was naming him. Him and the other kids were getting named in these couple of chapters.
So,
29, because that's going to tell us what the word means.
and she conceived again and bore a son and said, "Now I will praise Yahweh."
Yeah,
Upon thus she called his
name.
name Judah.
So what was the word for praise up above there? I will praise. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Odeh. So the olive is a prefix. Yada is going to be the root.
Mm,
Yeah, I will praise. And that was verse 35.
29, 35, yeah. So that's obviously Leah naming her child.
Now I praise you. Yeah, so that's where Yehuda's name comes from, and he's one of 12 sons. He is
Mm,
not Israel in its entirety by any means. In fact, there are 10 northern tribes that are actually called Israel, and they don't even have a land. There's probably many countries involved
yeah.
because they've gotten very, very big.
Mm.
Because this seed of these 12 boys has been scattered over the face of this earth. Yod Dalet Hey. See if it's in declines. Up to confess, to give thanks.
So it's a word of praise.
Yeah. It also means to throw, hurl, cast. Perhaps
Yes.
enlarged from yod, hand.
So explain to me again what yada 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 means.
Well,
Somebody keeps saying that.
that's gonna be the word for
It's
to
a,
know.
to know, it's a know, isn't it? Yeah.
Yod
We've got
Dalet
yada
Mayim.
here, which comes into give thanks.
Yeah, that's a different spelling than yada
Different.
yada yada.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Hello.
Hello.
Say hello to AJ.
Hi.
Hi AJ.
How are you?
We've got Florida and Hawaii.
I can definitely tell America.
Yeah,
What's
we're
your
over here in
out of me?
America.
I know. But we're looking up the root of the word Judah, which is what we now, it's translated as Jews, but it's one tribe of 12.
Yeah,
We'll watch later. I'll show you the Lost 10 Tribes video. I think you'll like it.
probably.
Such a great video. Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Super knowledge to have. Yeah,
Um,
so to confess, to give thanks.
Sorry?
Have a good day, ladies.
You too. But it also means to throw, hurl, and cast.
Yada.
Yeah. Says perhaps
Okay.
enlarged from yod, which is your hand.
Ah.
But you could cast praise.
Mm. Mm.
And it's also a cuff.
Mm.
He's claiming that you haven't feather as
I have.
news.
No, no,
Like she's
no.
gone bullshit.
I have fed her, and I am on Zoom, and we're recording. Come say hello. Come say hello to America and Hawaii.
No, good.
No, you good? Right. So one of the furry grandchildren is
That wasn't my words, that was Maggie's word. Maggie said bullshit.
thank you.
Sorry.
One of the furry grandchildren is trying to grab a second breakfast.
Which grandchildren?
No, the small cat, the black and white cat.
Oh, the furry grandchildren. Got it. Okay, so prophetic baraka of Yaakov. Yaakov's dying words center Yehuda in Israel's destiny. So this is like he gave a prophecy to his 12 sons as what will come upon them in the last days. And so here he says, Yehuda, your brothers shall praise you. The scepter will not depart from Yehuda, nor the staff from between his feet until Shiloh comes and the allegiance of the nations is his. That hasn't happened yet. This oracle establishes three lasting motifs: praise from the brethren, royal authority, and universal homage through a coming ruler.
And that says that too in the Zechariah. From every ruler.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll read that one, I think. Yep.
So it says that Sinai, Judah was the largest tribe,
Mm.
and they set out first. Leadership in worship and warfare is thus ingrained early. Some of us today are not so happy about all the warfare we see happening.
Mm.
It says in the conquest and settlement, Joshua assigns Judah the first allotment, and their portion stretches from the Dead Sea to the Mediterranean. So we've heard this from the river to the sea thing here. Well, it was a portion to Judah, encompassing Hebron, Bethlehem, and ultimately Jerusalem. Caleb, through a Kenizzite, is grafted into Judah and receives Hebron, showing the tribe's openness to trustworthy outsiders. I don't see so much of that openness to trustworthy outsiders these days. And then it says, in the period of Judges, Yehuda initiates the conquest after Yehoshua. Yehuda shall go up. Behold, I have delivered the land into his hand. Othniel of Yehuda becomes the first judge, demonstrating the tribe's capacity to lead in national crises. Do we want to keep reading this, or should we just
Look,
yeah,
you know,
along?
it's okay. We just
So obviously they are leaders and they hold the Torah.
Yeah.
And
they have, as much as they've been very secretive and a little bit maybe deceptive, subterfuge.
and there's been a lot of that that's gone on between the 12 tribes anyway. But there are the two verses in Revelation 2 and Revelation 3 that talks about there are those, and these are the words of Yahushua, there are those who say they are the Jews and are not, but do lie. But they are the synagogue of Satan. So
Yeah, but
that's been
when
something
you
that's been on my mind lately.
when you protecting cultural, look, we still have the Torah, we still have an idea of a lot of things that happened back then because of the Jews. A lot of people are upset that they haven't sort of been totally open about it, but look, come on, us Gentiles, we ruin everything. We take it and we make it a mess. We use it as swear words. We trample on everything. We trample on everything and we destroy it and we misuse it. So I call fair enough. But to those that have the will to study and search it out, they should be okay with that. And look, is it getting to a point, do you think, Darla, that where in the future that Judah and Joseph will eventually be friends? How do you say it? I don't even know how to say it.
Yeah, there are scriptures that talk about them reconciling, but there is that scripture, those two different scriptures from our Messiah that say there are those who say they are Jews and they are not, but they are the synagogue of Satan. They're the assembly of Satan. So obviously it's going to be about the fruit inspection. They either are serving Yahuwah and they are righteous people, or there's another group that says they are Jews and they're not. And they lie, and they are the assembly of Satan. So there is that group.
Look, I think every religious business has been infiltrated at the higher levels with
Exactly. Exactly. We have to be fruit inspectors.
And
then there's the whole what do they call it? The covenant of Noah or whatever. What is it called?
Oh, the Noahide laws. We were talking about that today too. Oh, yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
I think that's a long enough study for today, Bonnie.
Yeah,
I did share in our Discord group some things on joy, for some scriptures on joy. But I think
you want to read them out? I think we should read them out. Hang on, I'll go get it.
Okay.
I'll go get it. I want joy. It was one of the Psalms that I regularly read. Restore to me the joy of my salvation.
Yeah.
That's just beautiful. It might be Psalm 31, 27.
I think our earth is lacking in joy right now because there's just so much wickedness is just brewing up.
You don't have to scratch very hard at the surface of anything to find wickedness now.
Right. It's just in your face all the time. And so I think that it's a worthwhile study to seek out where's the joy? Where do we get it? Obviously this is chat help tier. I don't always take everything that chat says for I check everything. I haven't checked this, but just pulled up some scriptures here.
Yeah, but we
have it's not emotion based, it's presence based. It's the presence of Yahuwah based, not on the circumstances or how we're feeling, but it's about his presence. And so this is an appointed time with Yahuwah, and we're able to enjoy the presence of Yahuwah in spite of all the other craziness, because he is ultimately in control.
But that's why it's great to get together with a group of people who have the same grounding as you.
Yeah.
Believe, if you can, to get that idea of joy in your life as like a group dynamic. We were told, don't forsake getting together, because that's when you get the dynamic of support and the joy.
Yeah, the sheep, when they get pulled off to the extremes, that's when the wolf can get them, right?
Mm.
They need to stay in the fold. Yeah, so here we have Nehemiah 8
Yes.
verse 10. The joy or the simcha of Yahuwah is your strength. And in Psalm
I
16,
love the story you say about this Simca. Is it a het, the
yeah,
CHS? Simcha.
yeah, I think it's a chet.
Oh.
Pretty sure, yeah, it's a chet. It's going to be down in here further. It's going to go through each letter and what each letter means.
Yeah.
So in your presence is fullness of joy, Psalm 16:11, and then John 15:9-11. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete. So there's things he's spoken to us, right? That's supposed to bring our complete joy. That's pretty awesome.
Is that the verse where it says, you'll have trouble in the world, but I've overcome the world?
John 15:9, I'm not sure. I have to go look.
I'm pretty sure it is. And you will have shalom, peace. But
Yeah.
it'll be my shalom, not what the world is offering.
But if you're lacking in joy, that might be a great place to go look there.
Yeah.
Well, this is where this chapter starts with, I am the true vine and my Father is the gardener, which every branch in me that bears no fruit, he takes away. And every branch that bears fruit, he prunes so that it bears more fruit. And this is a feast here where it's the ingathering of all the harvest too, which
Yeah.
obviously has prophetic meaning as well. And these are micro, they are rehearsals, these feasts of Yahuwah. So there's always that question: what are we rehearsing? Are we rehearsing moving into?
Why are we rehearsing? If this is like I was saying, if these feasts are for all eternity, I want that. Learn it. I want to learn it. Try and stop me. I want to be prepared for what's to come.
Yeah, I think this chapter 15 is probably really, really awesome. Stay in me and I in you, as the branch is unable to bear fruit of itself unless it stays in the vine, so neither you unless you stay in me. This reminds me of that last day of the feast. It's a different feast. It's called Shemini Atzeret. It's like, stay with me one more day. Just stay with me one more day.
In the tent, we
Yeah,
are
in the tent.
We are now his tabernacle, but we're taking our tabernacle with him in us into a tent, into the wilderness. So that was a bit of a revelatory thing for me this last couple of days. I'm like, huh.
Yeah. Habakkuk 3:17-18, joy in spite of hardship. Didn't give the full verse there. Wonder if I could quickly find it, because these are tiny little books in here. There we go. Habakkuk 3:17-18 says, though the fig tree does not blossom and there is no fruit on the vine, the yield of the olive has failed and the fields brought forth no food. The flock has been cut off from the fold and there is no herd in the stalls. That sounds pretty grim. Yet I exult in Yahuwah. I rejoice in the Elohim of my deliverance. So there's even a praise for when you got nothing.
Machine drivers just spread out the gravel.
Can you hear the trucks next door?
No.
I've got the construction happening next door and trucks backing up and
Don't hear anything. I don't hear anything.
oh, cool. Thank you. So
So
what was the gist of that Habakkuk verse?
yeah, it was, you got nothing, but even you got nothing. Nothing's coming in. Everything's, Bear, bear, bear. Yet
Mm.
I exult in Yahuwah. I rejoice in the Elohim of my deliverance. Yahuwah, the Adon, is my strength. And then there again, of course, in Nehemiah, it says, the joy of Yahuwah is your strength.
So joy in spite of hardship. That's a hard thing, isn't it? But
It is hard, but even if your heart is so broken and you're bawling and stuff, and you just go outside to walk, you're going to feel better because you're closer to him being outside, and you're gonna notice a beautiful flower. You're gonna notice a little bud that he made, and you're gonna be touched by how he's still in control. He's still in charge of all the beauty in this earth.
yeah. And if he cares for you more than he clothes the lilies in the field,
Yeah.
what have we got to worry about?
Even if you
Yeah.
take a walk, you're going to feel better.
Mm.
He's going to pull you through it and out of it and cover you through it, walk you through it. What's the whole meme about the two sets of footprints in the sand, and then when it was the hardest in the person's life, there's only one set?
Yeah.
And the idea is that
It's here.
the Messiah
It's
is
here on my
carrying
little
you during that
icon.
time. Yeah.
Here on my little icon. I walked at the beach one time and I turned around and I'm like, yeah, that reminds me of the footprints parable. I'm going to take a photo of my own footprints walking along the beach because he's here too. I just don't realize, or yeah,
Yeah.
get carried.
And then if you want to go down beyond that, Bonnie, let's see. Emotional numbness is often a protection mechanism, not a lack of belief.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh. Because usually we beat ourselves up thinking, where's my belief disappeared to? But if you're in survival mode or some sort of trauma or grief situation, yeah, well maybe that's okay. That's all there is for now.
Yeah. Yeah. And at some point there, he gives the oil of joy for mourning. So that means there was mourning and he had to replace it. And I
But
will turn their mourning into joy.
if the whole earth is groaning as in labor pains, waiting for, the end of everything,
Yeah.
is there ever an end to it at the moment? You can imagine the earth crying out because of all the bloodshed over all these years.
Yeah.
Just I can't even imagine what it's like for Yahuwah to see everything that's going on.
Yeah. And the scriptures talk about how he laughs and mocks the wicked elite.
Yeah.
It's nothing that's outside of his ability to bring an end to the evil. He holds them accountable. And then it says, study focus, trace how Yahuwah restores joy. He doesn't demand it. There's a process of comfort, healing, and then rejoicing. So if a person is mourning, he's not like, you shall be in joy. He's compassionate. We read that today somewhere. He's compassionate. And there is a process for comfort, for healing, and then rejoicing. He will bring rejoicing to process.
Okay, so look at the study focus down the bottom there. He restores joy. He doesn't demand it. There's a process of comfort, healing, and then rejoicing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
So it says that in practicing joy, joy grows by expression. Small acts of rejoicing awaken it. So it's something to be awakened. Psalm 100, joyful service and gratitude. is a verse to reflect on, or the whole psalm. I wonder how long it is if I go over there real quick. See if it's ginormous or not. Psalm 100. Okay, I'm close. Let's see. It's a very short one. Let's read it. A psalm of thanksgiving. Raise a shout for Yahuwah, all the earth. Serve Yahuwah with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know that Yahuwah, he is Elohim. He has made us and we are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Give thanks to him. Barak his name. For Yahuwah is Tov. His kindness is everlasting and his truth to all generations. So that includes us.
Yay.
His kindness is everlasting. Everlasting. Okay, then there's Deuteronomy 12:7. You shall rejoice, you and your households, in all that you put your hand to. Whatever career you're doing, whatever new business you're trying, or whatever old business you're still maintaining, he's gonna have you rejoice, you and your households, in all that you put your hand to, in which Yahuwah your Elohim has baruch you, has endowed upon
Like a
you.
command. I think Tessa spoke one time of, you will be joyful. You will. It's a command.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if we looked at the Hebrew, I wonder if it's a command or just that it's an inevitable. It's inevitable. It flows naturally.
Deuteronomy 12:7.
Is it a statement of fact or is it a command? Like if he said, you shall breathe air, we would say, yeah, we breathe air.
Yeah, okay. Well, here we go.
Yeah.
You shall rejoice. Rejoice.
So that'd be one of my questions. Curious minds want to know, is this a command that it's forced down your throat, like you're gonna do this, or is it, oh no, we breathe, we eat, we rejoice?
Yeah.
And you shall eat there before Yahuwah your Elohim, and you shall rejoice in all to which you have put your hand to, and your households, in which Yahuwah your Elohim has baruch you, has brought you. Okay. Yeah, so I don't personally know if it's a command or it's just that it's just inevitably going to happen. It's just like when you put one foot down, you will put the other one in. If you're going to walk, then the other foot's going to go down. It just happens automatically.
Natural. Yeah. Not even like an automatic reflex.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay.
And this is one of those things that I would actually, what was it, Deuteronomy 12:7?
Yeah.
I would ask ChatGPT about that and say, is it a command or is it just automatically happening?
Looking at the Hebrew.
Yeah.
It talks about doing a gratitude list with your children. It always was helpful for me with small children to sit around the dinner table and say, what's one thing that happened to you today that was really great? And what's one thing that happened that wasn't so great?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Share laughter intentionally. Interesting.
Even if it starts out forced, laughter, that is so funny. Like you use the, you could just do
Yeah.
something forced
There
And
are classes. You can actually get paid classes here to go and do laughing sessions, and apparently it's hilarious, and everybody comes away feeling better. But yeah, you have to force it to start with, or
yeah,
just bring your best dad joke, or whatever, just whatever to start. But the intention is to laugh to get the endorphins going.
so ChatGPT in a nutshell says it is both a command and a natural response. The instruction to rejoice is deliberate because the heart sometimes resists even in told conditions. Even when everything's wonderful, the heart can be resistant to be joyful. So it is a command to rejoice, but the Hebrew concept recognizes that when you truly dwell before him and partake of his barakot, his endowments, joy will arise naturally. So it's not forced happiness, it's cultivating the environment in which simcha can flow as a natural covenantal fruit. So cultivating that environment.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So you want to get to a place where you're not feeling like, oh, I have to do this joy thing, but that it's just as natural as breathing. That you are in joy.
I do that watching children and animals play. Even if you've got to put something on YouTube,
Yeah, having just a
that
happy
is something.
heart.
That is something for me that will lift me. Yeah, you've got to work out what lifts you, because life's too serious, too mad to
Yeah,
inspire it. Often watching a sunset or sunrise. I did both this morning. No, I did a moonset and then a sunrise.
yeah, right.
It's like, wow, look at that. Just the artistry of
Yeah,
any sunset.
you can't do that every time, any day of the week either. This is the time when you could watch the moon set and the sunrise at the same time. This
Yeah.
time of the month, when the month is
Yeah.
when the moon is full.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Start a gratitude list with your children. If you have a pessimistic child, try to start getting them to focus on what's the one thing today that brought you some joy.
Yeah.
What was the one thing that was uplifting or the most uplifting? There should definitely be more than one thing that went right in somebody's day. Play
And
a
look,
praise.
the playing uplifting praise songs. All the Sukkot songs we've found so far have been just beautiful, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that the Charlie Kirk Memorial Service, I think they had like 1 or 2 hours of worship music. Although, not restored name, but probably outside of restored name, probably the very best that the United States has to offer, for instance, in terms of worship music. And then yeah, every chore, even your chores, offer them as a sacrifice of worship to Yahuwah. Don't despise the small things. They can be used to. They're used to serve. You're serving, washing dishes. You're serving your family. You're being a minister. Okay, and then prophetic joy of restoration. Joy will mark the end of exile and the return to fullness, rather.
Nice. Yeah.
So Zephaniah 3:17, Yahuwah your Elohim in your midst will rejoice over you with singing. Well, there's a
Can you
difference.
imagine Yahweh singing?
Yeah,
It's just a thought I've never had.
yeah.
And we're told around the throne room in the book of Revelation that they're singing to him constantly, but the idea of the Creator singing to us is new.
Is a differently new thought. And then Isaiah 35:10, everlasting joy shall be upon their heads. That is an amazing thought right there. Very visual. I think of a crown of joy.
Mm.
The ultimate Sukkot, of course, is when he dwells with his people.
Mm.
He says, you don't have to go do dishes. You can just sit here at my feet and listen to my great stories. You're thinking, that brings me joy. Sukkot is a feast of dwelling with Yahuwah and rejoicing. The key to experiencing joy here is intentional presence, intentional practicing the presence of Yahuwah. Physically dwell in a sukkah or a simple tent-like space, even for a few minutes each day. Invite his presence intentionally. Say, Yahuwah, dwell with me here. Fill this place and my heart with your joy. We can ask for the filling of joy in our hearts. Be aware of provision and shelter. Even a small cup of fruit, water, or bread in your sukkah can become a meditation on his care.
Nice.
And then some of these are already just, this may all be just a repeat. It's sort of done in a sort of a how-to guide through the week of Sukkot. It says, read one verse slowly, meditate on the image of Yahuwah's presence in your your life, then close your eyes and imagine yourself inside his joy. Breathe, see, feel, and name it aloud. I remember when my children were little, we used to do something called Gymboree, and it was a little gym time for your toddlers. We had this giant, multicolored, like rainbow color, just a big canvas cover. And the parents would stand on the outside holding on to handles on it, and we would balloon it up and down, and the children would be underneath it. And so they kind of be in a little tent. Do you guys remember doing anything like that, Bonnie and Karina?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
went to toddler kindy Jimbaroo. Yeah.
Yeah. And the kids would be underneath it, and then they'd kind of enclosed when we went down to the ground, and then we'd raise it up high, and kind of that visual of Yahuwah staying with the camp, the encampment of the 12 tribes. And then when he rose up with his signals, they, follow the cloud. They were on the move at that point. And when he settled in, they stayed right there underneath his cloud of protection. Beautiful images that probably are stored in our DNA, really, as a memory of our ancestors, probably embedded or marked in our DNA. Yeah, so in your presence is fullness of joy. So if we're not feeling his presence, we're lacking in the joy. Joy, even when everything else fails. We read that one. When you got nothing, just praise you his name. He will rejoice over you with singing. Everlasting joy shall be upon their heads. And then we go through a meaning letter by letter. So when it says to you could yeah.
Yeah, and God is a head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oop.
You could go through one of these a day, and then after there's really 8 days, so you could revisit these 2 days in a row. Reflect on how the fire or refining of the year has not destroyed you. Let it refine gratitude. So whatever you've been through this year, that old saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. There's a thought as well, right?
When time ends, will that no longer be a thing?
What, refining us?
So looking. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Right.
I'm done. I'm so well done.
I know we think we're done, but I'm not sure Yahuwah
Yeah.
thinks we're done.
Yeah. I don't know, every day we wake up, there's just means there's more work to do still.
Yeah, we're still serving. We're servant leaders. Yeah. And then there's the refiner's fire. He's
Yeah.
cleaning off the dross so he can see his image in us.
Yeah.
And Sheena's also like it means to consume, and it also means to urinate. So basically, I think it means my understanding of it means it's purifying. It's taking out whatever doesn't belong.
These come out every Sukkot.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then
Shadow.
I mean Sukkot would also be another word with 4 letters,
Yeah.
and it would be a samic. But the mem, think of high flowing from within. Notice any smaller inner movements of expectation or comfort. Eric Bissell talks about this letter also means to manifest. So that's an interesting idea. Here we are on this
Ooh,
appointed time with Yahuwah,
okay.
out intense, and of Yahuwah's manifestation.
Mm.
We would love a manifestation of his presence in our hearts, in our camps, in our homes, in our countries, on this earth.
That's my bit.
And then there is the chet, dwell in his covering and protection. Just be thankful for that. The physical sukkah reminding you of spiritual safety. I tell you, we've lived in tents now for over 6 years, and we are well aware that any hurricane could just take us out. But here we are.
Oh, no, hang on. Wasn't that meant to happen? Did somebody prophesied that recently?
Yes, but
So therefore,
you're under Yahuwah's protection.
don't listen to anyone. Don't listen to that person anymore.
Don't listen to people that curse other believers.
Yeah.
Hey is express it. Even a whisper song or small laugh counts as joy revealing itself. And just being in community and communicating, like Bonnie said, when we gather together and we communicate, then that the dross, the humdrums, it goes away because we're talking about Yahuwah, we're sharing
Yeah.
his word, and now we feel better than we did when we started.
Right.
Is it like a problem shared is a problem halved? That sort of an idea, or like in gathering with others and hearing other people's stories, all of a sudden your problems disappear.
Yeah,
Or even
because we
in
have
helping.
compassion for each other, and that makes
Yeah.
our problems go back on the way back burner at the bottom of the list because we're so absorbed with the compassion we're feeling for each other and each other's families, and and the prayer that we have given for each other, and also just communicating. When you maybe you don't feel well, maybe I don't feel well, and we talk about it, then we feel better because we were able to verbalize it with each other. So we do need each other.
Yeah.
And I think there is joy in being a servant. I really do.
And you forget your hands are active, your mind's not going round and round and round on whatever the trouble is that is plaguing you. And
Yeah.
and you feel a sense of accomplishment because you've been useful.
Yeah.
Mm.
And really, honesty, truth be told, it's like each week, it's like, wow, I got this done this week and that done, and this amazing thing happened. And I saw Yahuwah help me here. And so those are the kinds of things it's talking about. Spend some time thinking about those things.
Yeah. Here we go. We're talking about that, being a servant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small acts that grow joy. Gratitude aloud. Say one thing for which you are grateful in front of your children, or even just aloud to Yahuwah. I am constantly sharing. And actually, my children and I just started walking. I'm walking with one child first thing in the morning and the other one at night. And of the two that go walking with me here, and just sharing the beauty that we see when we walk. And then last night there was a wild boar up in the bushes, and he got startled by me and I got startled by him, and I screamed and he ran away. So that was,
That worked.
yeah, that worked.
Yeah, you should always patrol your boundaries. Prayer walk around your boundaries.
Yeah,
It helps.
yeah. And also, if I had been singing, if I had been singing or I had some,
Oh, let
sure?
that smell.
my daughter wasn't
Sorry.
walking with me at that moment. She walked a different route and we met because there's a couple loud noises and it stressed her. So she avoided those and we walked a different path for a little bit and then came back together again. She wasn't with me, so I was quiet at the time. But if we had been talking, I think the boar probably would have gotten scared earlier. I'm assuming it was a boar. We don't have lions and tigers and bears in the hills here, in the bushes. Music or singing, yeah, even humming or simple praise songs can activate joy in the body, and it can also scare a boar away. Movement, waving a lulav, clapping, or walking around the sukkah, joy often brings physically.
Yeah, so here we talk about activate joy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it begins physically. It's like interesting.
Yeah, even actually walking, just walking, nothing but walking is makes me feel better all day long. And that is joy. That is joy to feel better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Walking, and when you're outside walking in your neighborhood or something or park or whatever, I mean, it can definitely be a prayer walk time. It could be a time to just pray for you who is covering over your area, your city. I'm on an island. Yeah, joy often begins.
Could you do like walk around the whole edge of the island, or is there cliffs, or I don't know,
I don't know if I could do a whole edge of the island, but I could definitely pray over the whole island.
you go for a walk as far as you can either way when you get to the beach.
It's 8 hours to drive around the whole island. So that would probably take a month to walk. Sharing a small gift of food or baraka with your children reminds your heart that joy is relational. Obviously, when a mother's making food for her children or her family or husband, whatever, that is a gift of service, a gift of food, and they do feel joy when they're serving. Yeah, relational. Food is relational. And then I don't. What's the next part, Savani? So 15 to 30 minutes a day, you can sit in the sukkah. 3 to 5 minutes breathing, acknowledging his presence. So this is just sort of like a meditation or prayer, acknowledging his presence, thanking him for his presence during his appointed time with us. And read 1 to 2 key verses, like the ones that have already been mentioned, or something else from the scriptures. Meditate on a letter from Simcha and express joy physically. Clap, wave a branch, hum or sing, or Bonnie was dancing for us earlier. And we were loving that.
I'm
Yeah.
not in my tent.
Offer one small gratitude or baraka aloud. Speak it out loud, a gratitude.
Yeah.
And then repeat daily during the feast. The repetition itself rewires your heart. It rewires your heart to recognize joy even amid uncertainty. So the parameters I had given chat during this time was, hey, there's a lot of horrible things going on. What do we do if we don't feel joy? And then a lot of times it's just that a person may be sort of wired to be in their physical being to be more pessimistic, or there may be some circumstances that are pressing in on them that are pessimistic circumstances, right? And so we saw that one scripture that says, even in the midst of all of, when nothing's going right, the faucets won't turn on. There's no water, there's no power, there's no this, there's no food. Praise him. Just praise him and see what he will do. I mean, even your eyesight. I think my eyesight's not the best anymore, but I'll tell you what, that's taught me to be so thankful for the eyesight I have.
Mm, absolutely.
So I
Just to
think
be able to recognize colors and
yeah,
see like the beauty of nature still.
yeah, everything that I can see is like, well, if I can't see up close so well, I can see further away pretty dope. And I'm
Mm,
just thankful for what I can see.
mm,
I'm thankful I have a full head of hair. I'm thankful that I can walk. I can walk around the park. I'm not in the little prison cell tennis courts that the really elderly are walking there every day. And they're out
mm.
walking because they don't want to lose the strength and the skills that they
Mobility.
have.
Mm,
Yeah. So I think we've pretty much gone through it, but I think it's going to be a sort of a repeat on the way
yeah.
it gave out the
Okay.
information. But yeah,
Yeah.
it says deepening experience, consistency over intensity. Even 10 minutes is better than forcing 30. So just something consistent. Invite the children gently. Don't push. Model joy and presence. We can model that for those that aren't seeming to have that experience yet. Use all senses. See the sukkah, smell fruit, taste bread, touch a branch, listen to singing. Repeat mantras or phrases. Basically, scriptures is what it's saying here. Yahuwah's joy is my strength, or Simcha flows through me. And then a reflection for each day. At the end of each day, take 1 to 2 minutes to answer aloud or in a notebook. Did I notice any small sparks of joy today? So, like, if you can't come up with a whole firecracker bang of joy, just how about a small little spark? Was there something? And if you had a big fireworks, then tell that one too. What part of Simcha did I feel most clearly? The sheen, the mem, the chet, or the hey? That's really breaking it down letter by letter and really kind of examining that. And how can I carry a moment of joy into tomorrow?
That's an interesting question, but how can we?
Yeah, questions are great.
Hmm. I just struggle to think how I would answer that.
Well, I know for me, I'm going to be walking tomorrow morning, and that's going to make me feel better already.
Hmm.
And I'm
I've been
going to be walking
enjoying
tonight too.
I've been enjoying walking around my grassy areas in the backyard, and it's just slowly walking around and just taking in everything around, watching the cats play. It's just beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, and looking up at the clouds and mm,
Yeah, my mom's cat was had some real horrible health issues. She finally passed
that's
on, and
me.
they've gotten a little kitten over there, and this little kitten's so cute. They're just enjoying so much this little kitten.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just such a spark of because they just like they can be total rat bags, but it is just the innocence of play in some
Yeah.
in younglings of any species.
Yep.
Always so
Mm.
cute.
Like I set up the tent down the back, and some of the grandkids were here, and I put the old recliner chair in there because it's broken, and it just doesn't sort of stretch out anymore. This chair, and I went there jumping off it and rolling off it into the blankets
Right.
and
Oh my gosh, right. That made me think recently I was thinking about the unless you have the belief as a child, right? Come that way. And it's like, well, how do children think? They're so precious
They
and
live in the
trusting.
moment. They're
Yeah,
right there in the moment.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There, we all have
And
stories of our
like
children.
wide eyes with wonder about anything new or anything unfamiliar. It's like practice, you just jump in and just go check it out. You don't go, oh, although some kids would be timid, I would imagine, but yeah, just have a healthy sense of curiosity
Yeah.
about things, the smallest things. There's a book, yeah, it's a book I've read recently about, I think it's a fiction. It's called Mr. God, This Is Anna, and it talks about this little girl in the in wartime England who was just it was all about God is on the inside of her, and she just had this childlike wonder about looking at things and telling the adults to write it down big on a piece of paper for her,
Wow.
because it was all about like the rust on the fence post, or the the just very simple things that anyone could see anywhere, but it was just like an amazing sort of fact for this little, I think she was 5.
It's a book,
5,
Bonnie?
yeah.
What's it
Yeah.
called?
Mr. God, This Is Anna.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
that's lovely.
But yeah, when you talk about childlike joy, it reminds me of that book. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one thing that I think you will probably dropped in my bucket on that, because I didn't really see that from, the chat stuff, but that's what uh has been on my heart recently. I think it was actually yesterday, which I had that thought about, the belief of a child, or coming as a child with a child's heart, and that maybe that is also something that we can practice um, in our practice of joy, is that we come with a child's heart.
Yeah. Well, there's innocence.
Yeah.
There's a sense of wonder, and there's a sense of exploration. There's generally,
Imagination.
yeah, imagination,
Yeah.
creativity through
Yeah.
imagination.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably enough
That's
for
probably enough.
today, right? And
You have to stop the
a lot
recording
to,
at some point.
exactly right. It's a lot to practice the presence of Yahuwah and embrace the joy, which is a gift from Him. And He is compassionate for His people too. I think that is also important to
We all
regard.
need to go and get back outside.
Yep, we do. And
Let's do
I
that.
love you, sisters, and thank y'all for being here with us today.
Love you, Paul.